Good evening, everybody. John Owings, Operations Section Chief of California Incident Management Team 12, to give you an evening update of the KNP complex fire. Okay, yesterday, as you can all imagine, we received quite a bit of precipitation in the lower elevations and even snow down to about the 5,000 foot level. So as far as operations yesterday, a lot of it was people were pulled back to a safe place where the wind or the rains and the snow wouldn't impact driving conditions. So we had people off the hill in a staged location until we can get back up today and get a look at the work to be had. Okay, so for this morning, resources had to be held in place until the roads could be cleared. We had people staged up in the Hume Lake area, and as well as down here at Incident Command Post at Orange Cove, as well as down in Horse Creek, while the Park Service got their roads crews up early to clear the General's Highway as best they could, and to gain access for our division supervisors just to go out and inspect and make sure it's safe for people to engage. And so the status of the fire really hasn't changed. You can imagine the precipitation did nothing but help with limiting fire growth. We received several inches of rain over a majority of the fire, and then snow down to the 5,000 foot level, like I said. So as the resources got up there today, we were able to look, and we got some of the roads cleared to where the division supervisors were able to engage some of the resources down in the Ash Mountain area and doing suppression repair down there. And that was pretty much limited to the lower elevations. We received some questions indicating a concern as to why we're not seeing any more containment after all that rain. Well, the rain is great and definitely helps to contain the fire, but we like to wait until we get a look at actually the fire's edge to make sure that it has done that good work to be able to start drawing more black on the map. And especially for some of those heavy deadened down fuels, some of those giant sequoia trees that are on the ground, or lodgepole pine, or anything with the large diameter, they're going to still retain a whole lot of heat. So that's why we like to get our folks in there to make sure that that's not going to cause any further fire spread. So I anticipate you will see a lot more black line on the map in the future once we can safely get people down into those areas to confirm that. But we were able to get one of our operations folks up in a helicopter to fly the perimeter of the fire, and I can tell you that very few smokes out there, and a lot of those are just in the very heavy deadened down very large trees that may still retain some heat inside of them. So another question was what does it take to declare a fire totally contained? And usually what that is we have a complete hand line or dozer line or something like that around it, or a road system that would separate the fire from any fuel that would allow it to grow any further. And so as we've done that, we do have some hand lines and dozer lines around the remaining edge of the fire, and some of it is just held by natural features. Like you can see, we have a big granite barrier up in here, and with no vegetation on that granite barrier, that's going to be our control feature up in that area, as well as down here in some of these other areas. And some other areas, like you see down in the giant forest grove, down there, we got as much line as we could down in there, but we got to the point where it was unsafe to engage firefighters further down in there. But we have had good intel from the air, as well as infrared imagery from night flying infrared aircraft that can confirm that we have very few heat signatures down in there. So I anticipate you won't see the footprint of the fire change in the near future, or probably throughout the rest of the week, next couple weeks, and into the winter time. And that's it for the update. Have a good evening.